The American Express Platinum is a card that is designed for travel. It's just what it's for. That's what they came out with it for. It's hard to travel right now, so American Express added some little bonus credits that you can get that are, $20 per month up until December. But do the new credits and all the other features of the American Express card actually make it worth it? What's up, you guys? I'm Jacob Fisher, and today we're talking about the American Express Platinum card. Yep, got my information covered. That's what matters. It's one of those credit cards, well, I should say charge cards, that everybody talks about as having the best experience for a credit card. Except for the Centurion card, but that one's of course a little bit harder to get into. You do need to be invited, though you can apply now for it. There are tons of debates about Platinum versus Sapphire, Reserve, and City Prestige, and I'll get into those while I'm going through the benefits. For this video, let's dive into the Platinum card and let me explain why it's one of my favorite cards in my wallet right now. I'll go over the features of the card while comparing it again to those other cards I just mentioned. Now, I'm not going to compare it to the MasterCard Black or Luxury Card Collection because those cards are awful, and actually I'm putting a video out on them in a couple weeks, so subscribe for that. Plus, if you watch my Apple Card video in the corner, you'll actually see that you get some of the MasterCard benefits on the Apple Card with a $0 annual fee. Let's dive into the Platinum card. So for starters, you get 60,000 membership points after spending $5,000 in purchases in the first 3 months, and the annual fee is $550. Let's move into the points earning that you can get with the American Express Platinum. Starting with the points, you get 5 points per dollar you spend on hotels and airlines booked through AmexTravel.com or through the airline's website. Now, you don't get 5 times points on hotel purchases if you book through their website directly, like you do with the airlines. So you can book airlines through the website, hotels you cannot to get the 5 times points. Honestly, this is one of the worst cards for earning points, and you could pair this card with the Amex Gold if you want to pay another fee for that, and if you want Amex membership points built up. The Chase Sapphire Reserve is arguably easier to get points with at 3x for travel and dining, and those are very broad, especially for the travel category. I know parking at the airport actually gives me that 3x points bonus. The City Prestige gets 5 times points for air travel and 5 times points for restaurants, which is one of the best categories for, earning points, is restaurants and food. You'd have to call the City Prestige is actually the best earning one for earning points because you get so many bonus points for your spending. For some reason, the Canadian Amex gets 2 points per dollar you spend on eligible purchases and 3x on eligible dining in Canada. This is way more earning potential than the US version of this card. Gotta remember to cover that security code. Plus, the travel credit that you get on the Canadian card is actually very much more broad than the one you'll get on this card that I'll mention further along. Like I said before, combining your card with the Amex Gold is actually the best way to earn American Express membership points. I'll also get into which points are more valuable, Chase or Amex. Now, there are perks that you get with this card like you do every other expensive annual fee travel card. The most recent perk that will only be around until December 2020 is $20 per month for streaming credits and $20 per month on cell phone plans. I moved all my streaming services to this card and have not paid a dime in streaming services since I did that. That's a total of $160 that I'm gonna get in streaming credits for this year. You also get $200 in Uber credits. Now that's $15 a month, and then $20 in December. So $200 a year. While I used to use Uber once a month to get to and from my place to the city or wherever I'm going, now I don't really do that anymore. But you can use the Uber credits, or whatever you want to call them, Uber Cash, for Uber Eats, which is perfect for right now. So you can use $15 a month to order out and help lower the cost of the food that you're eating out. You also get to be an Uber VIP, which means occasionally you will get an Uber Black for the same price as an Uber X. I think I mentioned in a previous video that I had not ever received that perk, and actually since that video went live, I did receive that perk, and it's been pretty, well, it was pretty cool to ride in an Uber Black for the same price as an Uber X. The total credits that I've so far earned are now $360 because I do use that Uber credit every single month. That has already chopped the annual fee in half. Next, you get $100 in statement credits for Shop Saks or Saks Fifth Avenue, which is delivered in $50 in 6-month increments. I don't use this benefit, but you could be like Graham Stephan and go to the clearance rack if it's near you and purchase something there, because you can definitely find stuff for under $50. Now, I know you can get stuff for $1,000 like this Versace robe, but I mean, while it'd be cool to get that robe and wear it around, it's obviously a waste of money, so don't buy a $1,000 robe. Use the clearance section. Moving into the last credits that you get $200 a year in annual travel credit for fees for airlines. That's not like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which is $300 pretty much to pay for $300 worth of travel. It's $200 for the fees you might encounter. Let's say there's a charge for booking, or let's say there's a charge for booking your seat, you know, something like that. You can use this to cover that fee. You wouldn't actually need to pay maybe the $20 seat booking fee, because this would cover it at a later point in time. The thing to be careful with if you're using it for that is you might include all your purchases in the large ticket purchase, and they need to be separated to actually have this fee or credit work out. So really, you should book your flight, wait a day or two, wait for that charge to post, and then book your seat if you have to pay a fee for that. I will say I've been able to book Southwest multiple times now, and the travel credit has counted for that. I think the flights have generally been under $100, so that might be the indication that Southwest codes the transaction differently for airline or tickets under $100. I've been able to use this travel credit in full booking Southwest flights for the past 2 years. So for, you know, each year that's $200, bringing my total now up to $560 in credits that I get back for the card. With an annual fee of only $550, I've now made $10 by having this card. Again, I mentioned that the Sapphire Reserve, the $300 travel credit, is significantly easier to earn. The City Prestige has a $250 travel credit. Its annual fee is $495, and that is also much easier to earn. You also get a fee credit for global entry and TSA PreCheck. That's $100 every 4 years, or $25 a year. I'll also tack that on to pay for that because I do have that. And now that would be $585 I get in credits per year. That's all direct credits, and we're not even talking about the intangible things yet, which we'll get into right now. You get access to the Fine Hotels and Resorts program through Amex, which provides you things like daily breakfast for 2, a room upgrade, property amenity up to $100, late checkout, noon check-in, and complimentary Wi-Fi. That's like the MasterCard collection perk that I mentioned in the Apple Card video up there in the corner, which gives you that at a $0 annual fee. Again, Apple Card is $0, this is $550. I haven't personally booked a hotel through the Amex Travel website yet, so I don't have any really input into that situation, but I can see how it would be viable in many situations to get that breakfast and amenity. The City Prestige gives you a complimentary 4th night hotel free if you're booking for consecutive nights. You can use that benefit twice in a calendar year, which is honestly amazing, because if, let's say, the hotel price is $100, you could theoretically get 2 nights free overall on a 4-night stay twice for, you know, $100 each. That's a total of $200 that you've kind of had this card pay for, which I think is an amazing perk that that card has. Back to the Platinum, you get the Lounge Collection, Centurion Lounge, and the Priority Pass access all included with this card. Centurion Lounge is really nice to go into if you're at an airport near there. Philadelphia, Miami, I know there's 2 to name a few. I think Las Vegas also has one. There's more than that, but those are just came to the top of my head. This is my favorite benefit because not only can you get free breakfast, lunch, dinner, you also get free drinks while you're there, so that's really nice. If you had to put a value on it, you could estimate, you know, how much you would spend at the airport and how much now you get that for free, and then multiply that by how often you travel. For example, if you spend $20 at the airport typically on food, and you travel to a location where you have a lounge, and you travel, let's say, once a month, that means in theory, you could be saving $240 a year just by having this card again. And that's sort of hard to quantify because you don't know exactly how much you're gonna spend. You don't know which airport you might have the lounge at. There's a lot of variables that go into that, which is why it's hard to quantify. But again, that's one of my absolute favorite perks. Going to the lounges is just so nice to sit there and relax and just wait till you get on your plane. Now a lot of the lounges are closed because of, you know, a virus, but that's, you know, something to consider for next year when they start opening up again. You get Marriott Bonvoy and Hilton Honors Gold status. If you want to see how those stack up against each other, check out my other video up there. No foreign transaction fees and car rental privileges, which is pretty much like the Hilton Honors Gold, but for a car rental company, you get discounts and maybe an upgraded car. You get a lot of secondary insurances, and then you get other insurances for like trip delay, trip insurance, baggage loss, stuff like that, that you should have on a travel credit card. Then of course you can transfer all your points if you want to the frequent flyer programs. The transfer partners are some of the biggest indicators for which program you should choose. The travel programs you most frequently use or want to use should be the ones you're earning points for. In this case, I fly Southwest and stay at Hyatt using points. And American Express membership points don't actually transfer to either of them. So that means I use Chase mostly to get my points, and then I can transfer them over to there. However, even though I don't get many American Express membership points, I get so much value out of the card that the annual fee makes it worth it. I just happen to use the Chase transfer partners more, and I do know there was a video that I watched on American Express versus Chase, and if you fly more international, generally American Express will be the best bet because there are more transfer partners for international travel than compared to domestic travel like the Chase partners. That's not to say Chase doesn't have any international partners, it's just American Express is kind of focused on that versus Chase. So if you're debating which card, which ecosystem you should earn membership points for, just consider that. I'm gonna get more rewards out of Chase too, and more benefit out of earning their points rather than American Express. Again, the credits I said, I get $585 a year about, which beats the $550 annual fee, and that doesn't include the intangible benefits that I can't really put much of a price tag on. Another thing to note about this card is that it is not a credit card, it is a charge card, meaning your balance needs to be paid in full every month. Of course, all your credit balances should be paid in full, but if you can't do that, check out my video on debt pay down. I think it's very helpful for situations like that. But what a charge card is it doesn't have a preset spending limit, which means on your credit score, it doesn't have a limit, it doesn't increase your overall limit, it just shows that you have this card open. If you want to know how much you can spend on a charge card like this, you'll need to go to Amex's website, and they actually have a section to test your spending power. Now, this is something you can do if you're expecting to make a big purchase at, like, I don't know, Home Improvement, Home Depot or something, and you need to know how much you can put on the card all in one single transaction. You can go in and test out maybe $10,000 or something and see if you'd be approved for that spending. You know, if you've heard of the Centurion card, which I mentioned way back in the beginning of the video, you'll know that that actually has no preset spending limit, which means you could spend really whatever you wanted on that card. Is a platinum card worth it for you? I think it's worth it for me because, again, of those benefits that I get, it beats the annual fee just with the benefits without including intangible things, just in the credits. Amazing. I get so much out of it each and every year. Even this year, while not traveling, it has certainly paid for itself. I will say though, if Amex did not include those streaming credits for the rest of the year, I probably would have downgraded to the gold card because it's just not worth it to, you know, have a card where it's focused on travel, and I'm not doing that right now. If you do think this card is worth it and want to sign up for it, you can use my link down below. I'll earn 15,000 membership points. Now, I'm not saying you should click the link, sign up because it's a good card, but you should evaluate your spending and see if you'll actually get the value out of the card before you get the credit card. So don't just click the link because I asked you to. If you can use the streaming credits by this December, check that off, add that to your bill. If you can use Uber credits, check that off. If you can use the airline credits, again, check it off. If you have a lounge near you, which is honestly one of the best benefits out of this, check that off too, because that's just amazing to go into when you're traveling. I think if you have a lounge nearby that you can go to and get food or whatever it is near you, and you travel once a month or once every 2 months, maybe consider getting this card because I think that's very much worth it. I'm sure the other credits are easy to apply, or at least receive. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to get this card, or if you think it's a waste of money and are gonna get a different card, or you have a favorite card that I didn't even mention in this video that doesn't have an annual fee, or maybe you like the MasterCard and luxury card collection. I upload videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday all about travel and finance, so if that's something of interest to you, then consider subscribing down below, and again, leave a comment and like if you really feel like it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.